You are muted, Jala. They're muted. Okay, now.
Okay. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. We are here today on another edition of the OWCC 2025. You are welcome and sit tight and get to know what will be going on here today. So, for us to start, we'll get a welcoming remark for today from our own SV Sedu Eskaba. Sadu.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, my brother. Uh, Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to some other part of the country, the world. Welcome to the 5 of UWCC 2025. We are pleased to extend a warm welcome and appreciation to you all participants in this training. On behalf of our dedicated team, we applaud your passion and commitments to expanding your knowledge in the exciting field of ICT, engineering, and research. Thanks so much for joining us as we develop, build, connect, and impact our communities and the whole. So thank you all for joining us. In today's event, I want to take the honor to introduce our speaker. This person that I'm going to introduce studied computer science and technology at the Ohio University. Is a PhD candidate there. Of course, he's a certified network associate and routine engineering of MICTOC and MCR's RE. Is a certified wireless broadband administrator and also is a certified system administrator. This person is also a member of the China Society for Image and Graphic, and he has worked for so many NGOs from 2011 to 2017, like short as the eHealth, the ACCEL, and also others. And he has served in the capacity of an ICT personnel. He has once served as the vice president for the Liberian Students Union in China from 2019 to 2020. And is also a president emeritus of the College of Electrical Engineering and New Energy at Ohio. He is the founder and the CEO of TIT. Of course, he has so many publications. Already has published like 5 papers and still others be on review. So, ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome our tutor today. That is the CEO, Chief Olano. Welcome, CEO, to the program today.
Okay, Sadu, thank you for that warm welcome and a great introduction of the honorable man, CEO of TIT,
Yeah.
Olano Teah Bloh. Okay, now CEO.
Yes.
Okay, I think we'll get to you from here. So a special remark, if it is necessary, then you are welcome on the board.
All right, so maybe you can stop sharing and then I will take it up from here.
Okay.
So for the other volunteers, please follow through with the message that was shared in the group on other things that should be done. So you can also check, since I'll be facilitating, Saidu and Jala, I think you already have administrative control. You can mute other people that probably still have the microphone open. So before I start, tomorrow is the last day of the program. And as such, we have already started working on the certificates. You can see we already I've done more than 50 certificates. So hopefully by tomorrow, same time, we will complete all of the certificates for those that are qualified. Even though we have already created a certificate for you here, if you miss probably today and also tomorrow, then we will have no option but to delete the certificate. So you want to make sure that you are part of the attendance for today, and also you will complete the program tomorrow. So if you can carefully see, you'll be able to identify your last name. The certificates are just here in the last name. So if you can see, your last name will also be here. Some of you, I think one or two of you didn't register, but then you joined the program. So your ID will be different. And tomorrow we're going to talk more about the certificate. Also today we're going to give you at least 5 or 10 minutes to visit TIT website and fill in the Solve It form. So after the first session of my sharing, we have a 10-minute transition to give everyone a chance to go and fill in that form. It's a feedback form that's going to help us to know what we need to improve on more and what we need to do for the next edition. So let us know where you are joining us from the comment section. Just let us know where you're joining us from. It was easier for us to start working on the certificates based on the fact that you were able to at least tell us where you were joining us from, or probably respond to the conversation in the comment section. So all those that were responding to conversations in the comment section, we just use the chat history and try to do your certificate as quick as possible. So that way it was easier for us to get through with that. The volunteers also have completed the names of those that should get certificate from day 1 to 4, and the record have already been shared with me. So that record will be used to complete the process. And by tomorrow, at the end of tomorrow, your certificates will be ready to be downloaded from the website. And we'll talk more about the certificate tomorrow. So keep letting us know where you're joining us from, and then we will get back to that. So let's transition. Now I'm going to start sharing my PPT. Okay. I think it's not taking full effect yet. Yeah, keep letting us know where you're joining us from. We'll get back to you shortly as we get started with today's. As we get started with today's edition. Let me see what could be the main issue here. Probably I need to reshare. And all right, so today we're going to talk about RStudio. We're going to talk about RStudio today through data visualization. So you can please open your RStudio in advance. You can open your RStudio in advance as we will be talking about what we have for you today. Okay, I think we are good to go now. So if you can see my screen, you can see my slide, please let me know in the comment section if you can see my slide. Let me know in the comment section. Okay. All right. So the topic is advanced data visualization. And what do we mean by advanced data visualization. Basically, we want to tell a story. When we talk about data visualization, it's like turning numbers into pictures to tell a story. So probably you might have your data set that has been collected, and you recode the data into maybe numbers, maybe 1 representing male, 2 representing female, or probably just male and female, or whatever it is. And you want to visualize that data to give the true representation of it. Because it's difficult for people to actually read the data when it's just raw, or for people to actually see the bigger picture of it when it is just in a raw like that. So we're going to see how we can transform that. So the content we're going to cover is introduction and why we decided to use R programming. Why not other programming languages? Why did you choose R programming? Probably that might be the question for someone. And then we're also going to look at the RStudio interface. And then we have a case study. That case study is now going to lead us into the project that we have. We'll also understand what is variable and examine, because it's very helpful as we get along the process. And then understanding some of the key terms and functions that we're going to be using. And then we'll now transition to RStudio to start the actual coding and visualization. So when we talk about data visualization, like I said, it's more of like turning numbers into pictures. And the reason why we will want to do that is because we want to make things easier. We want to make sure that you are able to understand the bigger picture. We want to make sure that you are able to grasp like the trends, the pattern, or the problem that you might have with that data. So if the data is just in a table format, it's difficult for you to understand probably the trend and the pattern, or for you to see the bigger picture of it. That is why we visualize the data. When we visualize it, then it gives us a clearer view. So that's why we do data visualization. Secondly, why we decided to use R programming. I want to take my time because maybe some of you are new to this. Some of you have already been through some of the classes we have had, or probably you have been working with R before. So this might be new to some. This might be something refreshing, or something boring or annoying to some. But why did we decide to use the R programming? R is like a magic tool for solving like puzzle with data. It also lets you to calculate, to organize, and even draw like beautiful graphs. It's very powerful, and it helps scientists, it helps businesses and students to learn new things from their data faster and smarter. What are other reasons that we decided to use R? R is open source. Open source means R is free. You can download it for free. You can use it for free. You can also develop your own packages and libraries that other people can use. The community of R is very large. So if you have problem with what you are doing, you will always have solution online. You will always have people that probably working on a similar project, or people that have actually faced the same issue you are faced with. Also, it have a high capability. R can handle a large data set, and it can do advanced analysis, and producing high quality plots for our publications. Also, it also have a statistical power. R outshines with advanced plotting packages and ability to integrate statistical analysis with visualizations, which many other guys don't have. If you want to do advanced visualization or customization of your plot or your graph, that's where R actually beat most of the other guys, because some of them are just graphical software. So they just give you the option that they have. You cannot do something that you want to do beyond that. So you want to do something beyond what you have, then R is the best place for you. Most of the other guys, you also need to buy them, or probably your organization have to give you the license, or probably you might find some illegal or unauthorized or unlicensed software out there and use it, but it's not really accessible to everyone. So you might want to use something that you can have access to at any point in time. You might want to use something that you don't have to bother about renewing, subscription, about payment and all these things. So R can also be used for machine learning. R can be used for a whole lot of other things. So you can imagine probably you want to design or collect data. Probably you want to understand why certain students from certain country, or why certain students from certain class, or why students in general don't have good grades. So you being the school have employed you, or that organization have employed you, the organization have employed you to study or to give them reasons or proof or understand or analyze why the students are not performing as they should perform or they ought to perform. So you can now design your survey or your data collection system in which you can collect different information from the students. Probably you might want to understand if that student can eat in the morning before coming to class, or if that student is worrying about what they will eat when they get home. So that way they are not even focused on the lessons. They are actually thinking as to what they are going to eat when they get home. So these are factors that might influence or affect the performance of a student. But then you cannot just assume. You now have to collect this data, collect this information, and then do some analysis, like probably regression analysis or all the other analysis that you can do with R, and now come up with your findings. You might also want to study it from different schools. Probably you did that with another school, and you did it with another school, and now you understand that maybe schools that are in the slum community, students are not performing because of lack of maybe electricity at home to study, or maybe they don't have food to eat, or probably they don't have money to take care of themselves. But then students that are from maybe the capital city, or students that are living in the areas that are rich, or where we have many wealthy people, they might perform in another way because they have access to more other things. So understanding the data or just analyzing the data takes a whole lot. You have to put yourself inside. You have to see the bigger picture. So let's understand the interface of RStudio. Let's understand the interface of RStudio. When we start to use the R, you're going to see different things, but there are 4 main windows that I want you to really understand. There are 4 main windows, and the one you can see there with the script area, the first one in the upper quadrant, upper left quadrant, is the script area. That is where you are going to tap your codes. That is where you are going to tap your commands, your instructions. in that area. The second area in the upper right corner is the environmental area or the environment area. In that area is where you're also going to see, probably if you import a data set or you create a variable or a data frame, that is where they are going to be listed under your environment. You can also do so many things from that area, like you can check your history. Probably you ran some other commands, or you cannot remember them, or you want to keep track of them. You can check your history, and it's going to show you all of the other commands that you have been running before. Below the environment area, we also have another section called the plot area. That plot area also shows our graph. When we generate our code, we want to see the result. If it's provided, if it's a graph, we want to see the result, we check in that section, in that other window. We can also get other things from that window, like the packages. We can install packages from that area. We'll try to understand what is a package later on. We can also get help from that same area. Every other thing that Arrow has, like keywords and functions and all these things, you can find them under the help area. It also gives you an example. So if you try to understand how to do histogram, it's going to show you or explain first what is the histogram, and then what are the commands associated with creating a histogram plot or the histogram graph. So we're going to also navigate on that. You can also access your files and your folders from that same area. So whenever we run a code, if you want to look for the plot, this is where you go and look for it. The other area that is in the lower left corner is the console area. In that area is where we can also see some maybe error messages. If you run your code and there's error, that's where you're going to see the error message. Or probably you can also run some other lines of code there as well. So in the console area, we can do a whole lot there. We can also navigate our path and do a whole lot. The same thing like for the script area. The reason why the script area is there is that if we type our code, they will not automatically run even if we press enter. The code will only run if we click on the run button or we highlight a section of the code and then run it. But in the console area, if you try to do your analysis and your coding from there, you observe that every line you tap and you press enter will be executed. So it's not recommended to tap your code from the console area. Always tap your code from the script area. Later on, when you open the RStudio, we'll also explore the menus. For example, under the file area, you'll see some other things you can do with R. Like you can also you can interact with a Python code, with SQL, with C++. You can incorporate HTML as well into R. You can also build mobile apps or web applications using R. So the project we're going to do today, I also built a web application for it, and you can also access it from TIT website, which I will show you as we move along. So I want to take my time as best as possible because I want you to grab the concept and I want you to understand every bit of what we'll be saying here today. That way you can master probably the project, and you can also decide to go further. So let's understand our case study. For our case study, we're going to analyze the relationship between the car weight and the fuel efficiency. Understanding the relationship between a car weight and the fuel efficiency. And the data set we're going to use is called empty cars. Empty cars data set is a built-in data set within R. R comes with a pre-built data sets, and I'm going to show you how you can see all of these data sets and use them for practice, because sometimes it's difficult to get hold of a data, of actual data. Probably some people you have to pay for it. Some people you have to register as an institution to collect those data or to get access to those data. But then R comes with, data set built within for different scenarios. You can also practice. You don't have to download it. You don't need internet connection. As long as you install the package, most of the packages also come with built-in data. Like the empty cards, you don't really need to install a package to get access to it. It also comes built in. That's one reason why I decided to use it, because I want everyone to have access to the data we're going to be using. If we have time in the future, we'll also see how we can import our own data out of an Excel file, CSV file, or whatever data you have, how to import it into R and do your own analysis from there. For the empty card data set, is a well-known data set that contains information about 32 different cars models from 1974 using the Motor Trend magazine. So that data set includes various attributes such as the miles per gallon, also the horsepower, the weight, the number of cylinder, and other factors. So for our case study, we're going to focus on exploring the relationship between the car weight and its fuel efficiency. Next, let's understand our problem statement or our research question. The question is, let's say you have been employed or hired to the automobile industry or a car manufacturing company or probably an auto dealer. But they want to understand, how does the car weight influence its fuel consumption or efficiency? And how can this relationship be visualized to aid in decision making? Your boss comes to you and he says, this is what they want to understand. They are manufacturing cars, but they want to understand how the car weight can actually influence the fuel efficiency. So when purchasing like a car, customers often face a trade-off between fuel efficiency and other factors, such as the size of the car, the weight of the car, and the performance of the car. So understanding the relationship is now going to help us to make informed decisions as to which car to choose, as well as probably the fuel consumption or the fuel efficiency. So this is the problem that we have. Using the data set that we talk about, the empty cards, how can we understand the relationship between the weight of the car and the fuel efficiency or the fuel consumption? So if somebody comes to buy a car, now if you were working there as a data analyst, you can be able to tell the person, like, this car, if you buy this car, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, it's going to do this, and all of that. So the question that I have for us, which one of these cars will you buy if you were to buy the car? Which one of these will you buy? You can send your question, your reply in the comment section. And then later on, after we finish, I want you to remember that the one that you chose. Remember the option or the car that you might prefer from the list of cars here. Which one will you go for if you have to buy the car? So just send your question in. Let's lock it in. Somebody's going with Toyota Corolla from Elton. Let us know which one will you go with. Toyota Corolla from Jenkins, Fiat 128 from Kalala, and let us know Lincoln Continental from Mohammed, Toyota Corolla from, okay, Barry also Lincoln, Mazda RX-4 from Wanning, Lincoln Continental, and so many people are going with different options. So I don't know on what basics, you are choosing yours, but then we'll understand later on from what we're about to do. You'll understand why you might want to choose that car or not. So keep sending in your responses, your choice. Which one will you go with? Okay, so we have had a lot. Shafra is going with Cadillac. Okay, Sophia 128 Mohammed. Keep sending in. Everyone, please participate. Send in your option. Which one of these cars will you go with? Or probably if your partner want a car, maybe you are the gear. I don't want to start with the guy. You are the gear or you are the man, and you want your wife to buy your car. Which one will you want her to buy for you? Or if it's the reverse, which one will you want your partner to also buy for you? And then we'll understand how can we make our decision? How can we then come up with the better option? Okay. So your answers have been locked in. We'll come back to it shortly. So let's then understand some of the keywords and functions that we are going to use. Because like I said, when we start, I don't want us to be confused on why did he use certain words. Well, I know why did we use this word? Because it's always the problem is, sometimes when you are in a mathematics class, the teacher is just going to tell you 9/1 is equal to 9. But then you might be confused. Why? How did we come up with that? Always answering the question of why something was used, why something has been in existence is the mindset of a researcher, is the mindset of a scientist. Why? Why did we use that? What is the importance of that? So let's understand some of these key terms so that when we start writing our code, then you're going to understand, oh, this is why. So if you are even practicing at your own time, then you can also understand why you are practicing better. You are not just going to be writing code or writing lines without understanding what you are writing. One thing we're going to use for number one thing we're going to use often is something called the pop operator. But I'd like to summarize that into something I call and then. And then. So every time I use it, you will hear me saying and then, which is better. For some, you want to understand it as the pop operator. So what is it? The symbol you're seeing in number one is called the pop operator. It's like the magic scroll that lets you pass data from one step to the next without writing long and also complicated code. So I call it and then, but it's called pop operator. So 1 + 1, and then 2 + 2, and then you'll understand why I call it and then. Maybe you might want to decide to call it and then with me, or you might want to stick with pop operator. The second one, 0, 2 or number 2, with the less than and a hyphen, is called the assignment symbol. The assignment symbol. So I will tell you that use the assignment symbol. So when I say use the assignment symbol, that symbol you have to use the less than, hyphen. When I say use the and then symbol or the pop operator, you have to use the % greater than %. So what is the use of the assignment symbol? It is used to store something like a number, like a text, and also like a data. To store inside of a variable. So you can think about it like putting a label on a box so you can find it later on. And that's the concept of even a variable. Variable, they are basically like containers. And I'd like to give the description of one in the kitchen. Let's say you have like all of your spices, you have different jars, different cans, different containers to put maybe garlic powder, to put maybe salt, to put pepper or black pepper. You have different cans, you have different containers for each of these things. On them, you also have different labels to indicate that this is black pepper. So the process of labeling that container that it is black pepper, we consider that to be declaring a variable. Declaring a variable or naming convention. So when you name something, you also declare it, you create it. Inside that variable, you now storing something inside, which is either black pepper, or you are storing something, you wanted to keep black pepper. You wanted to keep salt. So the next time somebody wants to borrow salt from you, you just tell them, go and check on the table, and you will see a bottle there, and I have a label called salt. You can take that, that is the salt bottle. But in the reverse, if you have not labeled or you wrongly label your variables, probably you put the black pepper, or probably you put just the chili pepper inside a can. And then you put on that label, you put salt. Somebody just walk into your kitchen and they see that, they check the bottle and they can see salt, but actually inside is, or maybe that's a sugar. You put on the label sugar, but then inside that bottle is actually chili pepper or hot pepper. Now you tell somebody to go and get it, to use it. The person to just take that bottle and just bend it over. Maybe they were trying to put sugar inside of their, whatever thing they were, either drinking gari, or they wanted to put sugar inside of their food that does not require pepper. So you can imagine somebody putting that thing inside of their gari. And now you have just make them to mess up the entire thing. Probably that was the person's only food that they had for the day. But then you have caused them to put pepper inside their gari. So wrongly labeling our variables cause problem. Another thing is that I'm going to reference is called library. Library is like a toolbox, a full of different tools. So like functions and features that you can use into R. Why it is important? You can imagine like building something, but you don't have the right tools. So the library gives you those tools so that you can have a cool thing, or you can do cool things with it, like making graphs, analyzing data, or even working with maps. That's why we have libraries. We also have something called package or package. Package is like a box that contains a library. So the library can be found within the package. It has all of the tools and functions and instruction that we need to do specific tasks. So let's simplify in this way, which I also tell some of my students. You can understand package and library as in the package being the book, and the library being the actual library of your school. So your school went and bought this book, which is called a package, then take it to the library. So if you have to use the package, you have to go to the library and then get it from there. So we need to have the library, and then the books needs to be in the library. So if the library is just empty without books, then it becomes useless. We cannot actually use it. So I hope it was clear. When we get to that, probably you will see what we are talking about. We're also going to use some key terms, some key words as we start to code. You will see us using something like library ggplot2, like in 01. Library ggplot2. You see us using that expression, that function, or that keyword. What this actually does is it loads the ggplot2 package. So it's like we are getting this book titled ggplot2 from the library. That's what's happening here. So this book called ggplot2, it enables us to access various plotting functions and tools within that book called ggplot2. It's basically for ggplot means grammar of graphics. So it is one of the features within visualization that gives R its full potential when it comes to customization of our graphs or our plot. ggplot2. Another one is called ggrepair, library ggrepair. This guy is another package that provides function for better labeling or placement within our ggplot. So it helps us as well to prevent overlapping of text within our plots by dynamically adjusting their positions. You don't want maybe everything to just be on top of each other. You want them to have space, or they should be properly adjusted. So to do that, we use that library. The third one we might use would be dplyr, library dplyr. This guy is the grammar of data manipulation. He's responsible for data manipulation. So it simplifies data wrangling tasks like filtering, summarizing our data, and even creating new variables. We use that package, or we use that library. We're also going to see something like ggthemes. ggthemes. ggthemes is also an additional library for applying professional and stylish theme to our ggplot2. So it basically enhances our visual aesthetics. We're also going to use another function for ggplot with parentheses open. This guy initializes new ggplot object. With this guy, it also specifies the data and the aesthetics mapping for our plot. We'll also see something called AES, which stands for aesthetics mapping. And why do we use it? We define how variables within our data are being mapped to visualize property. Like if you want to put a specific column on your x-axis, or you want to put specific columns on your y-axis, we do that within our aesthetics. So another one is called the geom point. Geom point. As we get along, please take note, because after this, we're going to now move into the demo or the practical. And these are the same thing we're going to be tapping. These are the same things we're going to be using to analyze or visualize our data. We're also going to use something called geom point. Geoms means geometric. They just abbreviated it and called it geom. Geoms mean geometric. So it's a geometric layer for plotting points, like scatter plot. So whenever you want to, your supervisor or you yourself want to create a scatter plot, then you're going to call geom point. So you used to add points to the plot to visualize relationship between two variables. Another one is the geom smooth. Geom smooth basically add a smooth line, usually a regression line. And that line helps us to visualize the trend in the data. We also have geom H line and geom V line, horizontal line and vertical line. That's going to help us to also specify our mean, our average. We're also going to have geom text repair. That guy is now going to help us to do the non-overlapping of the text. That is the package that's going to help us with that. So it's going to ensure that the text labels are readable by preventing overlap. We're also going to see something called laps or labels. Number 11, lap or labels. Basically, this guy helps us to put title, subtitle, and caption to our plot. Probably you have seen a plot or a graph, and you can see like source. Probably under the plot, you see where they collected that data from. You see source, maybe World Bank data. So to do all of those things, it comes from the labels, the LABS. We're also going to have theme, like Theme Minimal and Theme Classic. These are the two most used themes for traditional style and modern style. Let's move on. We then going to see something called filter. Filter basically comes from the package or the library that we talk about called DPLYR for data manipulation. So filter help us to include or exclude certain things that we don't want in our data. For example, maybe you are analyzing this data and you just want to filter out all of the students or all of the male or female that are above the age 18 years. So you do that using a filter. Also, there's another one called count. Count helps us to summarize the data by counting the occurrences of unique value within the variable. We will also see something called reorder. Reorder also helps us to improve our readability of the plot by ordering the bars logically, especially in frequency. We're going to see something called geom core. Geom core basically helps us to add like a bar chart column where the height corresponds to the value. We'll also see something called geom text. Geom text basically helps us to add labels to the plot. For example, in what we will do, you will see that we add the names of all those cars inside of the plot. So that guy is going to help us to do that. Number 18 is the coordinate flip. This guy basically helps us to switch or to swap the X and the Y axis of our data on our map or on our graph. The last set of these guys, you also see something called grade arrange. Grade arrange helps us to combine multiple plots or multiple graphs on the same canvas. Probably you have another graph talking about the density of male and female. You have another graph talking about how male and female behave in a certain way. Now you can combine these two graphs into one and put it as a single graph. To do that, we can use the grade arrange. We'll also have something called annotate. Annotate helps us to add text. Like when we want to add the average or the mean miles per gallon or the mean weight and all of these things, we use the annotate to just put text within the graph. We also have something called max overlaps. Max overlaps, you also see that we equate it to 15. So equating it to 15, it helps us to ensure that up to 15 overlapping labels are displayed. ggplot and ggplot2. ggplot2 is the package. The name of the package is ggplot2. ggplot is now the function within that package that is going to help us to properly map or arrange our actual graph. So ggplot is coming from the package ggplot2. We also see something called element text. Element text is a function used to customize our text. Like for example, if we want to customize our title, our subtitle, our caption, for our plot, probably put it in the middle, change the color, make them bold, and all these things, we use the element text. You're going to also see that we're going to use something called mean. Mean is the same as average. So it's a statistical function that calculates the average of a numeric vector. So basically, these are the terms that we are going to use. And now we're going to switch to our RStudio and see how we can do our data visualization using the data set that we mentioned, as well as using all of these functions and keywords that we just mentioned as well. So if you have any question from what I just explained, you can ask a question, then we will transition to the RStudio to start our process.
Okay, CEO. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. And to the audience that was listening, I hope you all got something inspiring. For the remaining 8 minutes to complete the first 1 hour of this program, I will kind of like for everyone to go and fill in a survey, and so that the OWCC team will be able to get your feedback that will be able to add up or reduce some things that you may suggest. If you have a question, also you can unmute yourself and post your question to the CEO, as other will be filled in a survey form.
So everyone have to fill in the form. We're just going to take 5 or 10 minutes or transition. So you can, I think the volunteer will share the link. Volunteers, please share the link. And then you can just fill in the form. It shouldn't take you long because we already make the tags there easier. So everyone just go there and share fill in the form. And then those that have questions will be answering your questions and then doing the process as well. So you can go there and fill in the form. Probably you say, oh, TIT, you guys, we need you to have more of this topic. We need you to probably do this and do that. We're going to see how to go about it by your suggestions or feedback you're going to give us. So everyone, please fill it in and put your full name as well. We're going to use that as well for the certificate, as and also going to be approved that you are actually part of day 5. Probably that might even be a backup for your attendance. You never know. So please fill the form. Let's take 5 minutes to do that. For those that have questions, you can be asking your question. Thereafter, we will come back here to start with our process. Complete this training by tomorrow.
I have a concern, please.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. With regards the feedback form,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make some suggestions to first question 4. Do you want to serve as speaker, volunteer, or this? And the option
Mm-hmm.
is only one. Maybe probably I may be interested in the speaker and volunteer. So I suggest that you make options so that it should be a multiple choice.
Okay.
And for number 6 also, the day he benefited most, he only
Mm-hmm.
have one options. Also, I want to suggest that should be a multiple choice. Probably I may enjoy most 2 days,
Okay.
yeah, or 3 days. Or maybe the
Yeah.
first day I did not enjoy, but the 4 or 5 days, all of them was best for me.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Or maybe, Mr.
Oh.
Torre, you can just look at the one you benefited most among those 3 days you mentioned.
Yeah, but
The
yeah,
most
if
one
yeah,
among the three. You must have one that's maybe you can
no,
rate
yes,
among.
somebody must have one to rate. But for me, I may have even 2.
Okay. So you can.
Yeah,
We also added another guy way down for a suggestion. So you
okay,
can use that. You can use that field at the bottom. I think
okay.
it should be the second to the last question. And you can tap maybe full sentences of what you other suggestions that you might have. So let me check
Okay.
this comment
And
session.
also for the
How is
for the program, which
mm-hmm,
program do you want TIT to organize next? Is it only
mm-hmm.
one program or maybe? Okay.
Yeah, so you can choose one from there, and then you can also go in the, if you want more, you can also use the suggestion area and tap any other thing that you might have.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so somebody asked about how is ggplot and ggplot2 different. I think I answered that. We have purchased car without paying a cent. I don't know. I don't know about that.
CEO, sorry, I then
ggplot and
after
ggplot.
submit. Hello, CEO.
Yeah, hello. Go ahead.
Yes, after submitting your your survey form, you get a feedback that will ask you to either submit download your certificate. Are they available now?
No, they are not available now. So we will make it available tomorrow. For now, just fill in the survey and just leave the aspect of click to download your
Okay.
certificate. Yeah.
So we'll be using the same link to download the certificate tomorrow, eh?
No. Uh, we'll show you the link.
Okay.
We'll show you the link to download it. ggplot and ggplot2 are they libraries or packages we need to install and load? We need to install the package for ggplot2. Once we install ggplot2, we'll automatically have ggplot. So like I said in the slide, ggplot is coming from ggplot2. So we have to install that, which is what we're going to do next. So let me see any other questions. Please share the link. I think it's already been shared. If you don't use your full name, I think it's already
CEO,
been.
so you are saying
Hello, sir.
you are saying plot 2 is the package, right?
Yeah, ggplot2, the one I have number 2 is the package.
Okay.
See,
Hello,
why is
sir.
my RStudio not? I'm coming just a minute. Why is my RStudio not displaying on my screen? I'm using HP. Try to maybe close it and reopen it as you open. Yeah, go ahead.
The courses that I've been taking, like yesterday, you talked about data analysis. I don't know how we can have access to intensive training on those courses that you've been talking about. I can see the roadmap for becoming a data analyst. I see so many courses there. Maybe we can have intensive training on it.
If you want to have one-on-one training, TIT also offer that. So if you want to learn data analysis more, then you can reach out to us. We can organize one-on-one class for you. There are a couple of people here on the platform that are also part of. Guys, please mute your microphone if you are not.
Yes.
Please mute the microphone if you are not asking question. So we have one-on-one session. We also analyze your publication data, your thesis data, research data, whatever data you have, you want us to analyze it, we can also do that for you. If you want us to show you how to analyze it, we can do that for you. If you want to learn our programming or data analysis, we can do that for you. So all you have to do is just reach out to us. From Collins, you're looking at this numerous key and function. How can one able to know the type of function applies to this project? And that is why we explain those keywords and terms. So we will now start to write the code in the next 2 minutes. And then you'll understand how we are using those keywords and functions.
I tell you, make up for your products, for your organization, for your this, that.
Saidu, maybe you can check your mic is on. All right, so I think many people are done. If you are done, just send number 1. Please send number 1 if you are done. Just send number 1 in the comment section so that we can move on to the next part.
Joker, I don't think you can select all. You can just select a day that was so interested to you. If you think every day was interested to you, you can just leave your comment there in the comment section and select one day.
Okay, so I think many people have already finished. For those of you that haven't, you can do it. We're going to use those that probably fill in and prepared all those certificates for those people after the program. So let's now focus on the next part. Now we're going to write a code to see how we can visualize that result based on our problem statement or our research question. Let's see how we can do it. So firstly, there's the same interface that you saw in this session. This is where we're going to type our codes. Also, when you click here on File in the upper left corner, when you click on File and you come to New File, you also observe that we have different things. We have our script, we have Quarter document, our notebook, our Markdown, Shining Web App, C++, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Python, SQL, and a whole list of other things that we can do. So for this session, we're going to be using our script. We're going to be using our script. Quarter document, basically, we can, for example, if maybe you are writing a documentation and you also want to put you want to run some codes, lines of codes in that document, and either share the result or just show the code or not show the code, you can use this Quarter document. The same thing for our notebook as well. Shining Web App, you can use this guy to, even your own data, like I said, you can build a web application for it, and we'll show you that shortly, how we did it to also publish the same thing we're about to do here today. So with Shining Web App, you can visualize the data, launch it as a web application, and share it with your colleague to see, or share with your teacher or whosoever. They can be able to play with it and then do a lot more. Can we pause on a comment for now and focus on the demo? Yeah, so I think, guys, we've already taken the 10 minutes for that. So our focus now should be on this guy before you be left behind and you bring us back again. So please, we already given the 10 minutes for the survey. Let's focus here before you have to bring us back. Oh, I was failing in survey. I didn't get what you said. So please, can you start over? If you are done, it's okay. Let's just continue from here. So also the same thing you can see here, like you click on File, you come to New File, our script. You can get the same thing by clicking on this green plus sign that is beneath file, the one that is on a file. You can see right on a file, there's a green plus sign. So you just click on that guy, and you will see the same option of RScript, Quarto document, and the rest of the other guys. You can see them. It's another easier way of just starting your RScript without going to File, New File, and then choosing RScript. So I'm going to click on that. So I will try to do it as we move along. I will try to explain as we move along. So once you do that, you observe that it's going to come up with something called Untitled 1. It's going to come up with a script called Untitled 1. If you don't have this view open, as long as you come here to File, or you click on this plus and you do RScript, automatically you will see this window will be open. By default, when you open the RStudio, you have maybe the 3 windows will be open, or maybe the script area will not be open. So once you start and come to File, RScript, this guy will not be open. And you now see Untitled as the new file name. If you want to import your own data set into R, probably your Excel, your CSV, or your Stata, your SPSS, your SAS data, whatever it is, you can use the feature on the environment. You see import data set. You click on it, then you can choose the option. If it's SPSS data, Excel data, you can choose. These are just the most frequently used data set. So R just put these ones here, but does not mean R is limited to importing any other data set. R can import any data set that you can imagine. It can be medical data. It can be any data set, whatever fee you are in, financial, whatever fee you are in. If you have a data, you can analyze it using R. You can import it using R. So maybe after the training, I will find that document that I prepared, how to import different kinds of data set into R. Somebody is using the annotate thing here. Stop playing on the screen if you're done. Okay. So that was just Mariaman. Please check your Zoom. I don't know if you're using tablet also. Mariaman, you have to stop playing with the screen. Okay. So now we already created or open a new script. What we're going to do now is to install those packages that we need for our analysis. We're going to install ggplot2. We're going to install ggRepel. We're going to install dplyr. We're going to install ggthemes. We already tell you what these guys are. So I'm going to make an attempt to zoom in so that the writings that I'm going to put here can be also visible to you. So let me know if you can see it now. I'll have to maybe take it back when I'm starting to show the graph, because it's going to affect the graph result. So let me know if you can see, if the view now is better for you, if you can see it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
quite clear.
All right. So you can now see that we have Untitled, meaning it's not saved. Whenever you see it's red like this, with this little asterisk here, it means your file is not saved. So you might want to save it by just clicking on this blue icon here, or you can go to File, and then you do Save As, or you can click on Save. Any one of them should be able to help you to save. So these 3 options: click on Save As, or you can just easily click on this blue icon right here. It's the same as Save. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to name it as Day 5. You can choose any name you want. It does not matter. But then observe that once you rename it, you will see it will come with an extension of .r. That's because when we came here to File, New File, we chose RScript. So automatically it identify or recognize that what we're about to do is an arrow script or our programming related. Sorry, let me, if the light will not be visible on my face, I want to plug my phone on charge. All right. I think you should still be able to see it now. So now we have our file is saved. The next thing we want to do, we can do it from, how can I clear my screen in Arrow? We'll get to that. You don't have many things here, so don't worry about clearing screen. To clear screen easily, you can just click on this brush right here, or you press Control L, especially in the console. If you want to clear the console, you use Control L, or you click on the brush here. If you want to clear your environment, you can use this yellow like brush here to clear your environment. Also, you want to clear your plots, you can also clear your plots using the same brush here as well. So we'll get to that. Okay, so the next thing is, let's install those packages that we need. To install a package, we can either use command or we can use the graphical area. So you can come here to packages, right beside to the plot area. That's what we talk about the different views. So the plot area, right beside plots, you will see packages. Right beside plots, you will see packages. On packages, we can update existing package or we can install new package. We can as well search to know if we have an existing package by just typing the name of that package. For example, since we want to install ggplot2, I can just search here ggplot. Automatically, you see here, it pops up and even have a check mark because I already have ggplot installed and I've already loaded it in my Arrow. So for me, I don't have to install it again. But for you that don't have it, to install it, you just click here on install. Right beside update, you will see install. Click on install, and then it's going to bring up this dialog box. In this dialog box, you can now spell the package you want to install. And it's even going to give you suggestion. So when I upload ggplot, you see that I have different packages associated with ggplot. So what I'm looking for is ggplot2. So once I click on ggplot2, I want you to also leave the option for install dependency. Leave this option checked because most of these packages come with sub packages that might be useful for that task you are doing. So always make sure that you have this one still checked. From there, you can click on install. If you already have that package installed, Arrow is going to notify you. When I click on install, you can see here, it brings up a dialog box telling me that one or more of the packages to be updated are currently loaded. Once you see this, that means you already have that package installed. So you don't have to click on yes or no. Basically, you can just cancel it. If you don't have it installed, it will automatically start to install for you. So do that. For this package is called ggplot2 and install it. Another way to install it, and the installation don't take long. Those packages probably in a few seconds, they should be installed. So probably also maybe depends on your internet or your computer if it's slow. But it's not something that's going to take long. As long as it's finished, you will see it's going to notify you in the very last line that successfully unpacked, and you'll see the package name. Successfully unpacked ggplot2. That means it's successfully installed. Another way to install it using a command is to type the command install. Once you type install, Arrow is very good at giving you suggestion. I don't see any drop-down menu when I type drop-down menu where. So another option is you can use the command line. Use the code by tapping install. Once you start to tap install, you see it's going to give you two options: install.packages, and then install in the past tense, install.packages. The first one is to install a new package. The second one here is to show you all of the packages that you have already installed. And also, R gives you this yellow comment area that explains what that particular package is responsible for. So you can also read it to know what you're about to do or what that package actually does. So let's go to the first one. You click on enter to ease your work of typing the full command. Note that R is case sensitive. So inside this parenthesis, you want to type the name of the package you want to install. But make sure you put that package name inside a quotation. So you open a quote, a double quote, and then you put ggplot2. Spell the name of that package inside the quotation. After you do that, you can either click behind the line or you can click in front of the line. And then here, you can be able to run it. Can you please go back to install, please? You can come here. You see there's a green arrow. You click on it to run. Run means you want to run that particular line where the cursor is blinking. Where the cursor is blinking, you want to install that line or to run that line. So you click here on the green stuff. If it was not zoomed in this far, you will even see there will be a spelling called run. With the green arrow, you see run. So you click on that to run or to install the package called ggplot2. So do that and install ggplot2. Also do that and install the package called ggrepel, ggrepel. Also install the package called dplyr. And ggplot2 is not installing. It's showing warning. Warning does not mean it's not installing. Warning sometimes just come because of some other, it's just like the programmer own way of doing their own thing. Error means there's an issue. Warning means there's no issue, technically. So check below. Oh, let me see if I can open the comment section on the other side of the screen. If it won't affect anything here. See if I can read your feedback. Okay. So do that to install dplyr. Also, I'm joining my machine. Remove my phone from here now. Okay. Install dplyr. Also install ggteams. So you need to install these four packages. You can either install it using the package area that we told you about, or you can use this this line of code and just replace the name of the package one at a time. So make sure you install each of these things. I'm able to install ggplot2. I think Alpha, I don't know what's the issue. Okay. ggplot not found. We said install ggplot2, not ggplot. So install ggplot2, not ggplot. Alpha, you don't just say I'm able to install. Send a picture or send a copy the error message and paste it in the chat. Saying it's not able to install is not the best way to explain your problem. So copy the error message and then paste it in the chat, or take a screenshot and paste it in the chat. Then we can be able to see your problem. For those of us that have done it, maybe you can send one. If you already have these packages, you can just send one. Okay. Remember, R is case sensitive. A couple of people already have it. So let's see. Let's get more people, and then we'll proceed. For those that don't have it, we will. One in R tools require. There is not currently installed. Please download the R property. Okay. All right. So for those of you that have the R tools not installed problem, one way to do it is to let me see. Use the GUI. For those of you that have it, keep sending one. Yeah, like the person that just shared that, Abbas. That's how it should be. Thank you. Okay. So for those of you that still have problem with this, we will get back to you. Some of us are using our 441 version. Doesn't matter if you are using 441 version or 442 version, it should still be all the way. So what we'll do, because of all of those other issues now, because it's going to take us much time. So just follow, and then after that, you can watch the video and proceed. Or after today, you can also send me a message, and then, or you can even stay after the meeting, and then I'll have time to address those other issues. Okay, so let's move on. After we have installed these packages, what we want to do, for those of you that have issue, please just wait. We will get back to you later on. For those that have it, let's move on. And then if you finish, you can also be helping other people, then at least we can make that easier. So let's get other people to help other people. Now let's move on. After installing the ggplot2, ggRepel, gplyr, and ggteam, we have to load that library, load that package. To do it, we tap the command library. So once you start to tap, R is going to give you a suggestion. If yours is not coming up, then you have to tap the full command. Remember, R is case sensitive. So whatever you are spelling, make sure that you are spelling it properly. The red dot means that it's still running. If you still see a red dot, means it's still running. So you just leave it like that. So if yours is not popping up like this, giving you the suggestions, it's no problem. You can now have to spell the full meaning. But if it's giving you the suggestion, always go with the suggestion R is giving you. So since I want to spell library, and R is already popping up with the full spelling of library, I'm going to go with it because R is case sensitive. If you try to spell library and you mix it up with uppercase or you miss a spelling, you're going to get error. You might be confused. So let's go with the option that is given, library. You observe that's going to come with an open and close parenthesis. So inside this parenthesis, you want to put the package that you have already installed. The package you have already installed. As long as you have installed that package, once you start to tap in this quotation, in this parenthesis, RS should automatically bring up that package as long as it is installed. It's another way to test if your package is installed. So for example, let's load the ggplot2 package. So I'm going to tap ggplot, but this time, observe that I'm not going to put it in quotation. because I'm not installing the package. I'm loading the package. So you can see here automatically, once I put ggplo, it brings up the package that I've installed that is related to ggplo. And obviously, it is the ggplot2 package that I want to load. So I'm just going to press enter for it to complete that command. And you can even see in the yellow description here, it tells us that ggplot2 create elegant data visualization using the grammar of graphics. So it gives you some description as to what that package actually does. So I'm going to click on enter to complete that command. And then I can highlight this and click on run. I can also click in front of the line or behind the line and also click on run. That will also run. So I'm just going to do that, right click right in front of it or behind it and click on run. Observe that in the console, we can see that once you can see this one, it means that package successfully was loaded. The package was successfully loaded. If yours is the first time, then you will see some other things like maybe red writings. Don't be afraid. If you see in those red writings, don't be afraid. Allow it to run. And if you want to see it again, like maybe like this without a red writing, you can still go back to it and rerun it. And now you see it without the red writing. So we do that for the ggplot, and we have to do the same for all of the other packages that we have to work with. The next one we have to load will be library ggrepel. So I'm not going to explain that again. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, please, sorry to obstruct. I just installed ggplot2, both the package and the library, but under the library, they are giving me a warning message like package ggplot2 was built under R version 4.4.2.
Yeah, yeah, so don't worry, it will still work with. I think probably your version is out of 4.4.1, but don't worry, it will still be able to work. The warning is not an error, so it should still be able to work. Don't worry.
All right, okay, thank you.
So this is how to load the packages after we have done that. You can see I already loaded ggplot. I'm going to run this line as well to load the ggpel. I'm going to also run the dplyr. I'm also going to run the ggteams. If it is the first time of you clicking on run, you will always see the red writings. Those red writings, they are just basically some other instructions, but it does not mean error. So you should be able to still work with it, except you are having an error message that says this package is not installed and all of that. I think let me just open the last picture that this person sent. I think that's from Evans. Unable. So it's telling you that because the command you typed was install the packages ggplot2. And like I told you, and like you can see here, they should be in a quotation. When you are using this line, put the package inside a quotation. Don't just put ggplot2. The only time you put it without a quotation is when you are loading the library. But if you are installing a package, you have to put it inside a quotation. So Evans, that's the problem you are facing. So just check my screen carefully, and then you will not have some of these errors. So that's the problem you're facing, Evans. So you can fix that problem, and then you should be good to go. All right, let's move on. So we already loaded all of the packages. If you have loaded yours, please send a message. Send a message in the comment section. Either you can send Dawn or Juan also, so that we can move on from there. Yeah, the other person who just shared, like you're trying to load a GPLR, you saw that red writing, it's not a problem. It tells you that a package has successfully installed. So, and let me see who was that person. That was Haji Dauda. So Haji is not a problem. You are good to go. All right, a couple of people already have it. Let's move on. For those that don't have it, we'll come back to you. Time is not our friend. We have not done anything yet. So please take a screenshot of this because I have to remove it. This thing here, I have to remove it. So please take a screenshot if you're still trying to install the packages, or we'll come back to it later on. So after that, like I said, we have so many data sets that are built within R. So how can we know those data sets that are built within R? To do that, we have to type the command DATA. Once you type DATA, R is going to bring up something like this. You can go with the first option. But in case you are not having those suggestions popping up, you have to type DATA, parentheses open and closes. You have to type DATA, parentheses open and closes. Collins, the message you are seeing is not an error message. If you run it again, you will not see the red writing. The same thing for Thomas Diaz. If you run that same code you are running for GPLR, you will not see that red writing again. That means the package is just loading for the first time. That's why you are seeing that red writing. When it's loading for the first time, if you load it again, you will not see that red writing. Okay. So you want to see all of the packages that are built within R, you type DATA, parentheses open and closes, and then you run it. Once you run it, it's going to bring up a new string or the new section, as you can see here. So you're going to first tell you the packages, and then it will give you all of the data sets that are on that particular package. For example, you can see data sets in the package, and the name of the package here is called data sets. Now, one of the data sets that are available, if you load this package called data sets, one of the data sets that are available is called air passengers. Air passengers. This data set has the monthly airline passenger numbers from 1949 to 1960. So if you want to play with a data like that, then you can load this data set, library data sets, and then you should be able to have access to all of the data sets that are on this package. So if you keep going down, you observe that it does not only have air passengers, but it also have BJ sales. It's a sales data with leading indicators. We also have BOD is a biochemical oxygen demand. We also have CO2 as a data set. It's a carbon dioxide uptake in grass plant. So for those of you into environmental engineering, probably you want to play with this data set. So there's a whole lot of them. If you keep scrolling down, you will see different things. Like giving another data set is called hair, eye color, like hair and eye color of statistics students. So there's a whole list of different data sets that are here. So that's how you can see the data set. And that's where we are getting the data set we're going to use today called empty cards. So to load that data set for empty cards, now inside this parenthesis of data, we open a quotation and then we type empty CARS. Empty CARS. Observe the environment area. Currently, you can see that it says environment is empty. Environment is empty. So if we load this data set, beta, parenthesis open, in a quotation, in small cases, empty cards. And then we run it. Once we run it, you can now see that something has appeared in our environment. Our environment is no longer empty. Something has appeared in our environment. We can also view that data set. So let's view that data set by tapping the command view. Observe that the view that I'm tapping, the V is uppercase. When you're tapping view, you don't just tap lowercase view. The V is uppercase and the IEW they are all lower cases. Or you can even go the suggestion that R is going to give you in blue, click on it, and then it's going to give you the proper spelling of it. Now, inside that view parenthesis, what do you want to view? You want to view the structure. We want to view the empty cards data set. So you can see here, the moment I start to tap empty cards, it even pops up with the full spelling. And even on the side again, we can now have a glimpse of the data set, how it actually looks. So I'm going to press enter to complete that command. And then I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it. And let's see what happens. So you can see here, it's going to come up shortly. Okay, you can see here, there's a data set, and you can see the car name, for example, Mazda RX-4, Mazda F4 different cars, like 32 different cars, models are here. Duster, Mercedes, 240D, different cars are here. Cadillac, Fleetwood, Lincoln Continental, different cars are here. Honda Civic. You can see all of the cars are there, and you can see for each of the car model, you can see the miles per gallon, MPG. CYL means the number of cylinder. If you are doing mechanical engineer or you know about car, you understand the cylinder. I'll also show you how you can understand why CYL means cylinder, or how did I get to know that CYL means cylinder. Also the display, the horsepower, which is HP. You have the weight, WT. You have so many, the gear, and all kinds of things you have related to that model of the car. That's how you can view the data set, to know what you have, so that when you're calling the variables, you know the proper spelling of MPG, you know the proper spelling of weight. This guy, I'll just leave it open. I will come back to it later. Let's also show you how we can read or get to know more about this data set. So you can come here to help. You can come here to help to the plot area or to the packages area. Right beside packages, you will see help. Come to help, and then you will also find there's a little search bar here. In the search bar, you can tap empty cards. As you start to tap, you're going to see suggestions are going to be pop up. And let's go with empty cards. So once you complete the spelling and you press enter, you observe that first it tells you the data set is coming from unknown data sets. And the data set name is coming from this package called data set. And the data set name is empty cards. And then it tells you basically there's a motor trend car road test. It gives you a description of that data set. Every inbuilt data set into R will come with these manuals. So anything you have confusion with, always come to the help, spell that keyword, spell the name of that package, spell the name of that library, and R is going to give you detail plus examples. So you don't need internet access to even get these things. So it'll tell you about the data set, how they came about it, and what it contains. It also below gives you the usage, how to use this data set, the format. So here you can see MPG. Now they are explaining each of the variables that are used. MPG means mass per gallon. CYL means number of cylinders. DRSP means displacement. HP means the gross horsepower. WT means the weight in 1,000 pounds. So that's how you can, even if you scroll way down, you see an example. Run example. And then you can see it gives you your code. You can even copy that code and paste it to your script area and run that code to start practicing. So use this for every other thing you don't understand, any other keyword you don't understand, you can use that guy to better explain what you are looking for. So if you are still following and you are there, just send number 2 in the comment section. You can send number 2 in the comment section if you're still following. Okay, we have a couple of people following. Okay, let's move on.
We will not follow to. We class answer will stay here today.
Okay, so the next thing now is for us to create a variable and then start to plot our graph. So let's move on with that. So you can press enter. Always another easy way to reference things. You can see that they put lines, numbers on each of these guys. For example, line 1 was ggplot2. So if you have a question, you can say on line 1, I don't understand probably what you have on line 1 or on line 6. Like that is another easier way to make reference. Okay. So in here now, we're going to create a variable. And like we said, a variable is like a container. You cannot put pepper into sugar cane or into the sugar jar or container, because you might cause somebody to not eat for the whole day, or that person, I'm sure some people can actually, they won't mind, they will still eat that gari with the pepper in it. Depends on the situation though, because if that's the only thing you have and you mistakenly put a lot of pepper into your gari instead of sugar, only because somebody have a wrong label on their can, you have no option but to eat that food. Or probably you want to put some salt on your food. Some people like to put salt on the food. So imagine you just put a lot of sugar in a food like Mr. Ibu and Son. That's the same thing that happened with Mr. Ibu and Son. So let's proceed. We show you how to view the data set by using a command on line 7, view in the data set. But it's also easier to just click on this guy from the environment. It will also do the same work for you. Anytime you see something like this with a blue, something with this place logo inside, you can be able to view it by just clicking on it instead of tapping the command, view, parenthesis, open, the name of that thing. Probably might be long for you. You can just click on it, you'll still be able to view it. For example, now I can just click on this guy, I should still be able to see the data set. So let's create a variable. We're going to call this variable, which name should I give this variable? Patrick said he's just joining late. He's behind. So let's call this P late. Oh, P late is the same as plate. Wow. Hey, P late is the same as plate, your car plate. So let's use plate. And since plate is also referring to car, and this data set is also about car, let's use plate. Because Patrick said he was late. Okay, so we created this variable. The variable can be named as any name, but a variable cannot start with a number. A variable cannot start with underscore. For example, like the way we said P late or P, this P cannot be a number. This P cannot be an underscore. So, but in between, like the way I put P, I can put underscore late. I can put P1 late. So you can put numbers after, but your variable cannot start with a number or with underscore. Very, very sensitive, very, very important. That same concept applies to most programming languages. Please, can you help me with a WhatsApp chat room link? Okay. We are on day 5. You are still asking, you're not even joining the WhatsApp group yet. So let's move on. That is St. Patrick. Patrick is not asking for the WhatsApp group. Let's move on. So after creating the variable name, what do we want to assign to this variable? We want to assign a data set. So we told you about the assignment symbol in the PPT. The assignment symbol, in order for you to get an assignment symbol, you have to use the alternate key and the hyphen. We gave you this less than and the hyphen key. So the key on your keyboard is the ALT plus hyphen. ALT plus hyphen. We gave you this symbol here called the assignment symbol. ALT plus hyphen. We gave you the assignment symbol. Or you can manually type it, which is going to take much of a time. You can hold the shift key, press the less than, and then go beside, like you have 9, 0. After 0, the next key that is there is the hyphen. You could also do it like that. But in order for you to just get it quicker, you could just hold the alternate key and hit on that hyphen key that is between 0 and the plus sign on your keyboard. So you have to memorize that. Alternate and the hyphen key is to put this assignment symbol. The next thing, what do we want to assign to this variable called plate or pillet? What do we want to assign to this variable? We want to assign this data set called empty cards. This variable. For most of probably my other students that are here and people that I've also have the session with, like I will explain to you, this means everything on the right-hand side should be saved into what we have on the left-hand side. That's the simple explanation of this. Everything on the right-hand side should be saved into what we have on the left-hand side. So the entire data set called empty cards should be saved or stored inside this variable called plate. Assuming that empty card now is the sugar and plate is the label on that container that we want to put the sugar into. After that, the next thing we want to use is the assignment, the indent symbol. So the indent symbol is this guy, % greater than %. So to get this % greater than %, we have to hold the Control, Shift, and M. Mariama Kamara. So to get this pipe operator, which I tell you I prefer to call it indent, is to hold the Shift key, the Control key, plus M. So I'm going to type it here, CTRL. That's the meaning of control. And then the Shift key plus M. Control Shift M will give you this symbol here that we call pipe or indent. So what do we say here? We are saying empty cards should be saved inside a variable called plate. And then that's the interpretation. And then do what? So I'm going to press enter because I don't want to keep going in front. It's going to make the code, the line very long, and we'll have to keep maybe losing track of it. So after the indent symbol, you can press enter, and you observe that it comes with an indentation. That means the code is still effective. We can still continue to type whatever we want to type. The next thing we want to do is to now use ggplot. So now there's a time of using a ggplot that we explained before. And you can also see there's a little description here tell you about creating a new ggplot. So initializing a ggplot object. So inside ggplot, and if you want to understand further details about ggplot, how we are actually putting these keywords into the ggplot, you can also go to help and you search for ggplot. You will see the full syntax or the format or the usage of ggplot. Okay. Now inside ggplot, there's a format. ggplot actually has a format. And that format, the first thing we want to do there is something called aesthetics. We also explain it in the PPT, AES. AES is the aesthetics mapping. So in this guy, we want to specify what do we want to map, or what do we want to put on our x-axis, what do we want to put on our y-axis, which column in our data set we want to put on our x-axis, which one do we want to put on our y-axis. So I'm going to press enter because the AES also comes with a sub-parenthesis. So I'm going to press enter with the suggestion that came with it. Now, inside that parenthesis of the aesthetics, the default assignment is the x-axis comes before the y-axis. So you can say x equal the column name, or you can just put the column name directly. If you put, in our case, as we're about to do, we want to compare the column MPG, which is miles per gallon, and WT, which is the weight. So x equal, on the x-axis, we want to put the weight. So in the data set, the same way it is spelled, that's the same way you should put it here, because you are referencing something coming from the empty cart data set, which is on line 9. WT is coming from the empty cars data set. And also remember that x equal WT, the x is a lowercase. The x is not uppercase, it's a lowercase. We have like 25 minutes technically. We ought to try to complete this tomorrow if we can finish this today. That will be the meeting for tomorrow, and then we can talk about other things on tomorrow. So after we assign the weight to our x-axis, we put command, and then we say y equal, also the y is a lowercase, y equal MPG. We want to put the miles per gallon column on the y-axis. So after we have mapped that on our canvas, you can put plus. You are not going to put and then symbol again or the part operator, because you are now dealing with ggplot. With ggplot, we use the plus after every layer or after every feature. It's almost like you are adding new features to your graph. You are adding new features to your plot. So you have to just use the plus symbol. After this guy, we want to specify, I can press enter after the plus. We could also continue on that same line, but then the line is going to keep getting longer. So we have to now specify the type of graph.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of us want to leave for prayers. So when you take attendance, you consider us.
Please just send message in the comment section. You don't. Yeah, just send message in the comment section. Other people also have the same issue or other issues as well. So you put the plus sign and enter, and then you have to specify the kind of graph you want to plot. So actually, we're going to use a scatter plot or the point graph. So to do that, we say geom, G-E-O-M, and we already explained that in the PPT, geom point. Geom points mean scatter plot. So geom underscore point. Geom is the abbreviation of geometric. So geom point is related to scatter plot. Can you guys still hear me? CFI is saying you don't hear sound. Can I still be
I
heard?
think the issue
We
is
are
for your
hearing you.
side.
We are hearing
I'm
you.
getting you.
You're very clear.
We are getting you.
So Shafa will
Okay,
have to
okay.
leave and come back. Shafa, you can leave the meeting and come back.
All right, so let's move on. So GM point means we want to.
Hello, Olano, please.
Hello.
Yeah, I have a problem. When I type ggplot, I sent a screenshot from to the chat box. I had a code. They are telling me, I don't know if you have seen it.
Yeah, I can
When I
see
type
it, but I
ggplot,
think
error in fetch key. I don't know what they mean. It doesn't load.
so. We'll come back to that later because we can, if we take all the time to address that.
Yeah, because
it's not a
probably
general
you
problem.
have not loaded the package. Well,
Yeah, so
you have
just
not loaded.
all right. Let's move
okay.
on. So GM underscore point means we want to put a scatter plot. We have to put like a size. The point size, those points or those dots that will be on the graph, you can specify the size. If you don't specify the size, it will just come with default size, maybe size 1 or size 1.5. So you can specify your own size. So size equal, maybe 3. We want that each of those points should be the size of 3. Another thing, the color. Also the color. So we put color and then equal. COLOR, color equal, parenthesis open. I mean, not parenthesis, but quotation. We spell the color we want, whatever color we want those points to have, or those dots to have. So I'm going to go with steel blue, STEEL, BLUE. As long as you tap the color, R will automatically highlight that color with the actual color that you are spelled. So if you cannot see any indication of the color there, that means your spelling is wrong. You should check it out. Use all lower cases. So after we specify the color, we add a plus. You can see now the line is getting longer. So that's the reason why I always enter. Let me push this guy here a little bit. Not hearing anything here. See if I check your device. Others are hearing me, so check your device. Now we specify the kind of graph we want. We want to have a scatter plot. If you want histogram, if you want bar plot, if you want density plot, it will just change from GM point to GM density. It will change from GM density to GM histogram. So that way you can do that. That is where you can specify the kind of plot, GM underscore density, and all of that. So let me even come back here and remove this and just put the underscore. You can see here, I think it's not reached your side yet. Latency, it's a little bit of delay. So once you put GM underscore, you actually see all of the different kinds of graphs you can use. GM area, GM bar, box plot, contour, crossbar, density, different plots you can use. So here we're just using a GM point. The next thing we want to do is to specify, we want to put like a linear regression line. We want to put a regression line there. Or what I will do, for the sake of time, we're going to keep adding layers. So firstly, I will see how best to just end it here. We run it, and we see the initial result, and we keep modifying it. Maybe that will work. So the next thing we can do here is to use another GM called GM underscore text underscore repair. GM underscore text underscore repair. This guy's going to help us to put like those actual information from the empty cards, all of what we have there, to put it on the graph or on the plot. So in here we put labels. I can just enter first. When it comes without parentheses, I'm going to enter so that the line, well, let me just zoom out my screen a little bit. Usually you're going to have these two parentheses closer together. But for me, I'm just entering so that I can have more space or to write the code in a neat and professional way. So you have to put your aesthetics as well. Under the AES, you also come with a parenthesis. You want to put your labels. And these labels you want to put, they should come from the row, like row names. Row names means you want to get those data that are from the rows, like all of those different cars' name. We want to put them on the graph or put them on the plot. And where are we going to get those row names from? From the data set empty cars. So row names in the parentheses, empty cars. So after that, we put a command after the two parentheses, put a command and enter. We can specify the size. Also, we make the size to be 3. We can also specify the color. Which color do we want to put on each of those car names on our graph? So color equal to, let's use dark red. Dark red. After that, the next thing we want to do is to specify our overlaps. And we talk about the max overlaps. The max overlap basically helps us so that the text or those writings of the different cars cannot fall over each other. That's why we are using the max overlap. So we can set our max overlap to maybe 10 or 15. You can play with the numbers. After seeing your graph, and you see that probably they are getting clustered, you can change the overlaps. When we're done with that, we just close our parentheses. And we already have it down here. I just close it up here. We close our parentheses. So I'm going to share the PPT. I'm going to share the code, and the video will also be posted. So we have so many ways to stay catch up with whatever we are doing. So max overlap equals 15. Close the parentheses and add a plus. Now the next thing we want to do is if we want to put labels. It's up to us to put labels there. Also, we can just put, we can also choose our team and all of that. But if we don't want, let's just leave it at that and try to run it and see if it's going to run. Let's see if it's going to run. I'm going to zoom out the screen a little bit. Else it might cause problem for the graph, might not come up properly. What's going to be so squeezed up. So I'm going to run this code from line 9 to line 15. And let's see if we will have any result. So here you can see, oh God, what's the problem? Can you see the plot area here? I'm going to also, if you can see the plot area here, just let me know the plot that was generated. Okay, so first thing we saw, we specify that we want the points. We want the points to be steel blue. We want the points to be steel blue. So you can see all those dots, they are all steel blue. We also say we want to have the row names from the empty cars data set. And then the size of it should be 3. The color of those things that we have, like the car names, they should be colored in dark red. So you can also see the names of all of those cars here. They are all in dark red. So you can change the color, you can change the size, you can change like every other thing. So you do also get it. We can also zoom in to see the full the full image of this. If your graph also appear like this, you can come here to export. You click on export, and you can save this as image. You can also save it as PDF. You can also copy it to your clipboard. From your clipboard, you can go to Word, you can go to PowerPoint and paste this graph into your work. So this is how to get it done. We're going to keep modifying it, but I want you to first see the initial result of what we did, and then we can see what best to keep modifying and modifying and modifying. Now, we can also zoom in case we are not getting the full view, or we actually not seeing everything as we ought to see it. Just click on zoom. Click on zoom and then
Olano, sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
The plate after the dark red marks over last 15, then the plate, is it part of the variables you created?
Plate is, I'm just calling the variable so that it can be printed. That's what I put the plate there on line 15 again.
Okay.
Pedro.
CEO. Hello.
Yeah, so I want to understand, is it plate open, plate close? Like you
Plate
try
open,
to,
plate close.
yeah, like you specify it first and you type plate, and then at the end of the codes here, you get plate. So I want to know.
Okay, so what will happen is this. Let me clear this plot area. You can also delete this plot. I'm going to clear it. Okay, and then I'm going to rerun it from line 9 to line 14. But if I run this, you will not see anything coming up in the plot area. What just happened is everything we have done is saved in the plate variable. So if we want to now see the output of that, we can even use print, and then in parentheses, we put print plate and run this line separately without even the other guys up there. We can run this line separately, and we should be able to see the result. Now you should be able to see the result. There's a little latency. Okay, now it's pop up. So
yes,
the result of everything.
my own problem, please. I can't see max overlaps. I only see max column. When I try to get max overlap, I could not get.
So maybe we'll check yours later, but I think maybe you are missing out on certain things. But if other person have already done it, please let us know in the comment. If others have already done it, please let us know in the comment section. If you have done it, just send maybe 1 or 2 or anything like that. Yeah, Emmanuel, you can go ahead and ask a question.
Yeah, CEO, I'm trying to imagine it as if, let's say, for example, you are coding in Visual Studio Code, but you're using your specific programming language, for example, HTML, that you have to specify a particular tag before. That is what I'm trying. Like you have the P tag, you have PO close. That is what I want to understand. Is it kind of related in that way? Because we started with plate up, so it's necessary that we specify plate at the bottom of the code. That is what I want to understand.
And like I just did, I ran from line 9 to line 14. When I run it, we're not able to see the graph. That is because the result was saved inside a variable called plate, but then we didn't specify or indicate if we want to see it, if we want to visualize it, or probably see the output of it. So for us to see it, that's the reason why we put the same name below here. for us to see the output of this code, not for us to just read the code and save it in a variable, but we also want to see the output of the code. That is why we put it here. So it's not technically in relation to the HTML instance you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Understood.
All right, so let's move on. We have like 10 minutes to go. We have like 10 minutes to go. So let's add other things to it. For those of you that still have other problem, we'll get back to you after the official time. I will stay here for some minutes so that we can start all over. And then tomorrow we're going to give the interpretation of the detailed interpretation of what we are doing. But even from here, if you are good at reading graphs, you'll understand that we plotted the miles per gallon on the y-axis. That was what we did on line 10. We said y equal mpg. So that's the reason why we can see all of the miles per gallon on the y-axis. And also we said x equal wt on line 10. That's why I put all of the weight on the x-axis. So from this, those that chose Toyota Corolla, those that also chose the Cadillac fleet and the Continental, Lincoln Continental. Or even this, we can interpret the result. You can see here that the miles per gallon for Toyota Corolla is higher up. And also the weight is even light for Toyota Corolla. So that means Toyota Corolla is lighter and it also uses lesser fuel. Toyota Corolla uses lesser fuel, so it's economical. For these cars that are way down here, the weight of them, they are high. They are very heavy. The Lincoln Continental, Cadillac Fleetwood, those are heavier cars. And the miles per gallon, which is the MPG on the y-axis here, is not higher up. The miles per gallon for these cars, way in the corner here, they are not up. But we can see that the miles per gallon for Toyota Corolla is way up here. And we can also see that the weight for Toyota Corolla is less than 2,000 pounds. Because if you check the data set, you saw that the weight is being measured in 1,000 pounds. So if you carefully check this two and follow this line going up, you observe that this blue dot for Toyota Corolla is even farther away from the two. That means it's less than 2,000 pounds. So Toyota Corolla is light, and it also have a higher miles per gallon. So Toyota Corolla can go the longer distance and burn lesser fuel compared to a Lincoln Continental that is very heavy, is more than 5,000 pounds, because you can see here the weight on the x-axis is 5 here, and this is measured in 1,000. So this is 5,000 pounds. Lincoln Continental is more than 5,000 pounds. So imagine a weight of more than 5,000 pounds. Usually in the elevator, it might tell you like you can take maybe 18 persons and the weight would be like 1,380 and all of that. So this one is in 5,000 pounds. So Carla Lincoln Continental, for somebody who don't have much money, I don't want to say a poor person, this is not a choice. It's not a choice that you want to go with. Or if your partner say they want Lincoln Continental, you should understand that you are going to spend so much money on gasoline. You're going to spend so much money on fuel. So this might not be your choice, your ideal choice. If you are a hustler or you still don't have much money to buy Lincoln Continental or Cadillac Fleetwood, you might want to buy a car that is the Fiat 128. You might want to buy Honda Civic. You might also want to buy Lotus Europa, or you might want to buy Toyota Corolla. And many of you, if you can still remember your answer you gave, many of you chose Toyota Corolla. So the Toyota Corolla people, this is one reason why you might choose Toyota Corolla, because you will buy lesser gasoline, and your car can go longer distance. Your car is also light. So even if your car breaks down, you can be able to push your car. But imagine taking a Lincoln Continental and you want to drive from your house to go out of town. In the middle of the road, your car breaks down. There's no gasoline around. The car is more than 5,000 pounds. So you want to push it, and you are not Jimmy. Yeah, you might think about it carefully. You can take a screenshot of the code. We're going to add more lines to this code to modify and make it better. This is not, we say advanced visualization. This is not yet advanced. We're going to make this graph very advanced. We're going to change the background. You can see currently is grade like. For some publications or some journals, they might not accept your graph being like this. So you might want to make it better. We're also going to indicate a linear model or a linear regression line to actually tell us the relationship, if there's a positive relationship or the negative relationship between mass per gallon and weight. Also, you can observe there is no title. There is no subtitle. There is no caption on this plot or on this graph. You also observe that we cannot, we have not indicated where can we find the average mass per gallon, or where can we find the average weight. So we still have more things to add to this graph to make it up to the standard of advanced visualization, not just what we have done here. But for the sake of time, that's why I'm just trying to give you the picture. Tomorrow we're going to complete it and then add all of the other features that it required to be considered an advanced plot or advanced graph. So cars that are in the middle here, they are in between. For some of you that chose the Mazda RX-4, Mazda RX-4 is not that heavier, and it also does not use too much of gasoline. So if probably your partner or your company or whatever don't want to buy a Toyota Corolla, you feel like maybe you are too big to ride Toyota Corolla, then you can find something within the middle here. You can find something within the middle, like Ferrari Dino. You can buy a Ferrari Dino. Ferrari is less than 3,000 pounds in weight. And Ferrari goes up to almost 20 miles per gallon. So these are things to consider. You could probably find a job working in an area where you can be able to analyze data of such. You could also create your own data set and use the same pattern of this code to understand different relationships from the data. So I'm going to stop here. And if you have any question, we can address that question. Then take our attendance, after which I will stay for a few minutes for us to redo it. That is off the record. Those that want to go to other places, officially you'll be over in the next 5 minutes. Those that want to stay and still understand better, I'm going to stay here to explain. I'm going to start all over and explain it one more time. Because tomorrow...
Yes, Olano. How do you export this graph to PDF and save it?
Yeah, you come to export. When you click on export, you see save as PDF. Once you click on it, you will see here tell you directory. I think it's going to take a little time to come up, but I think you can see it here based on the speed. So when you click on save as PDF, you'll see this data box is going to come, and then you can choose the size, the dimension. If you want it to be in portrait, if you want it to be in landscape, the name of the file, you can give the name of the file. You can also choose the folder, directory means folder. Yesterday we did something on CMD and we told you about directory. Directory means folder. So when you click on directory, it shows you where you want to save that graph, where you want to save that plot. So for those of you that will do it and you will get this graph, you can save it as image or you can save it as a PDF and send it in a group after today's class. After today's lecture. Send it in a group so that we can know how many of you have done it. We will also see from the chat session, but then send it in either in the WhatsApp group or the WeChat group if you have successfully done it. So that's all for, yeah.
CEO.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry for cutting you off. Actually, I do have foreign. Along the way, I've been, let's say, trying to run my code, but then I cannot see anything popping up. So I think I've been sending screenshots there.
Oh, we got it. We got it. So what we do, let's do our attendance. Emmanuel, your hand is up. Do you have any question or anyone have any question? Please.
I have a question, sir.
And also, please appreciate the speaker. The speaker have finished speaking. Appreciate the speaker as always. Send a love emoji or whatever you have to send. Appreciate the speaker, not because it's me. So send a love emoji, send your everything. Those that still have problem.
You are always appreciated, man. You are always.
Emmanuel Chia, if your problem is your code not working, please wait. Those that have code not working problem, please wait.
No, my problem is not about code not working. I have
What's the problem?
I want to acquire something relating to this R Studio stuff.
Yeah,
I want to know if there is a specific programming language that an individual can learn to actually use it, or is this R Studio like Visual Studio that you can actually use any programming language and you have
R is a programming language. R is the programming language. So R is a language. The code we are writing, that's the code in there of R programming. So you don't need to learn any other language. What you are doing is the actual language. R is the programming language. You can use R to also do machine learning. You can do R to do prediction and a whole lot of things you can do with R, like I explained in the previous slide. So let's take the attendance quickly. Please turn on your cameras. Let's take the attendance. You don't know which train you are on. And at this point in time, let's, those are John late. We have already prepared, I think, certificate for almost 50 persons.
Stop sending comments. Your comments getting covered through faces, please.
All right, I'm taking the first slide. If you want to turn on your camera, please do it because you must switch between different streams. So if your camera will be on, just leave it on. It will be off. Please leave it off. So we are going now. We're going to take the first stream. Please just bear it. But tomorrow we will complete all of the certificates, and right after the program, you should be able to download your certificate. So we want to talk more about the certificate tomorrow.
So CEO, after this program, when will be the next program?
Okay, we got it done. Let me finish this thing, and then we'll talk about that.
I think black on the you put camera outside say that what happened to you?
So just wait, please. Don't leave. Don't transition.
Taju
your
for good
attendance.
never error, my man. You get good never.
Kaju, I don't know why Kaju sitting here. Why you sitting?
Say
Man,
that
I
very
ain't came
sharp.
out.
You want man?
Yeah, I said, once I'm done, I will let you know. So please,
You came out. Oh, I mean, where you my hero? But tell
once I'm done, I will let you
hello,
know.
baby.
Man, tell how people hello.
All the content I play, see about.
I will let you do tennis. That people move for you now. You can do your catching up the done.
Yeah, but
No do tennis. I want to see now talking.
but you
That's
put
why I have, I have 2 minutes to take this.
You put le say na see ya pa ya pa.
That's me, I ain't looking.
Man, my plan, man.
Thank God that I'm every last thing.
Let that be lying there. See, say our room, you get much.
No, the man
So please,
for light.
I hope you know Gabriel and I forget what you on how you call him.
I mean, I felt a plan more than even if I bet
so those of you that will still be listening, hello guys. Those of you that will still be listening, if you have any problem you left behind along the way, and you stay interested in completing the tasks of the one, because tomorrow we are going to repeat everything we did today. You either have to watch the video on YouTube if you want to leave. If you don't want to leave, then you can stay. We're going to redo it to help you. Just wait one more so that we can be done with the attendance. Okay, let me take the backup for the YouTube. So, one, 2, 3,
I have a class here again, yeah.
5.
Anybody here living Central Moravia?
No, my man, all I have all.
You want
Anybody do it too.
Okay, guys. So, hello, Central Moravia people. Thank you so much. We are done for